Today we're going to go into how to avoid the barber bottleneck, right? This right here is the problem that a lot of barbers run into when they're making $8,000 a month, $7,000 a month, and for some reason they think that they made it. It's most likely because they ran into this exact bottleneck right here. Before I get into that, I want to make sure that we go through the mindset of why they're actually stuck in this position and the mindset that is going to take in order for them to get out of this position. If you are not making $8,000 a month, I highly recommend that you avoid making these mistakes. If you are at $8,000 a month, there's probably a reason why you got this video directly. It's because this is what you need to change in order to get out of your position, right? This is a broke barber's mindset. Nobody in my city charges more than $35. Bullshit, bro. There are clients who are willing to pay more than $35. So it really doesn't matter what anyone in your city is charging, right? I'm going to wait until I'm better than everyone else. I guarantee you that time will never come, bro. There will never be a point where you feel like your haircuts are just perfect, pristine, and you look around and you really are the best barber. If you're waiting for that feeling, I promise you it's never going to happen. You're always going to see room for improvement. You're always going to see ways that you could be better, other things that you can improve, right? Another barber is going to say, I'm going to go to competitions to get my name out there. Nobody cares about barber competitions, bro, especially not your clients. Who's putting money in your pockets? Your clients, not these barbers. Barbers are not going to put money in your pocket, so stop looking for validation from barbers. It doesn't matter who it is. I promise you, it is not going to help you. A lot of the designs, a lot of the color stuff that they do over there, no regular client is going to get that. And even more, they're not willing to pay the price that it takes in order for you to do that type of work on them. If you already got your feelings hurt, I promise you, you will never make it, bro. If just a few things that I've named on here haven't sat well with you, you could leave, bro. Go do whatever else you want to do, right? This is not for you. This is for the people who are actually open-minded and want to succeed. So if that is you, if you did stay, let's keep going. I'm booked out 2 weeks in advance. Why is that an issue? Majority of barbers in a beginner position, or these guys, they think that that's good. What that tells me as a coach, as someone who was able to scale to $150 a month, a cut, is you have a ceiling on your head, and this is you. You're like literally like scraping the ceiling right now. It's like you're a kid that outgrew his bed, that outgrew his room, that outgrew his shower. But you're staying there. So you staying somewhere where you do not fit is going to hurt you. It's like wearing tight shoes. If you have a size 12 foot and you are trying to fit into a size 9 shoe every single day, you will hurt yourself and you will end up doing more damage than good. I'm going to tell you the reason why a lot of these barbers stay in these positions is because it's more comfortable. It's a lot safer, right? Comfortable and safe is not going to get you that dream lifestyle that you aspire to have. I'm going to learn how to cut faster. Dumbest thing I've ever heard, bro. It's not bad to learn how to cut faster, but people think that this is a solution to the problem that they're having. The fact that you can only make a certain amount of money, it's not going to help you learning how to cut hair faster, because that, again, has another ceiling. It has another wall. Your job is to fix the root problem of what's going on in your business that's not allowing you to be booked up, to make more money, to charge more, or have higher paying clients. You have to fix the root problem. Learning how to cut faster is not going to solve that. I'm going to work 7 days a week and cut all day. How long do you really think you will be able to uphold that? Do you think you can have a girlfriend working a schedule like this? Do you think you can have a gym life working a schedule like this? Do you think that that's healthy for your body to be standing and working all day like that? Absolutely not, bro. You will either hate life, you will be divorced, you will lose your kids. This is not a schedule that you will truly aspire to live, bro. So any barber that says this, I instantly know they have a broke mindset, right? Broke does not necessarily mean that this person doesn't have any money, right? If you if your feelings, if you feel some type of way based off the things that I've said right here, it's probably because you have a broke mindset, bro. A lot of this stuff that I'm saying right now has nothing to do with income. There might be barbers who are making 10, 12K a month, but they're working like this. And there's nothing wrong with that. If all that you want is money, it works, bro. 12K a month, that's cute. You feel me? But at the end of the day, if your goal is to live a luxurious lifestyle, if your goal is freedom, if your goal is to be able to spend time with your family, to build up, to leverage yourself. That way you don't have to slave behind the chair. This right here will not get you there. And until we realize that this mindset is not going to get us there, we won't make it, bro. We have to change this and start applying things that actually work. All right, and we're going to get into that in a second. But I want to continue to show you guys where this mindset actually leads you, right? Boom. This is the barber bottleneck. Again, this is where a lot of barbers go wrong in their business and they never end up getting to that next level. They hit a wall, they stay there for months and months, years and years on end, and they just end up thinking, okay, this is all barbering has to offer me, and they end up just believing that whatever they accomplished up to this point, that this is all barbering has, and then they start doing other side hustles like start learning how to trade, they start trying to sell products on the side, they start reselling clothes, and none of that is truly going to get them the result that they aspire to have from their main source of income. This right here is like a third or a fourth of what you could actually do with barbering, which is like $8K a month. That's like a third or a fourth of what's actually possible here. So typically a lot of people with this mindset, it's not that they are bad barbers or they're bad people. They usually have a great work ethic. The problem is though that they're not applying it to the right work. Okay, so boom. Typically these barbers, they start spending all their time cutting hair and just focusing on the skill aspect, right? That is not bad, right? You should get good. You should want to be the best. You should always strive to be the best. But where they go wrong is spending all their time only focusing on the skill. That's only 50% of the business. The other aspect of skill is getting people in your chair. What's the purpose of being the best if you're not having people in your chair, right? Boom. All right. Now let's say eventually if you do this for long enough, good enough, you will get booked out. Congratulations, you made it to level 3. A lot of barbers get stuck right here. They get booked out and they don't know what's next. They just think, okay, I'm booked out. Now what do I do? Right? They have a million thoughts going through their head. I don't want to lose clientele. I don't want to start making less money. I've worked so hard to build this back up. What if my business goes to shit? And then there's two approaches that you can make with this, right? You start thinking like a businessman or you don't, right? For this sake right now, let's just go over what happens when you don't start thinking like a businessman, right? You're booked out. You decide, no, I'm not going to think like a businessman. I'm going to do what average Joe, what the average barber does, right? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to add more daily slots. Oh man, I'm booked up. Let me work an extra 2 hours every single day. Let me work an extra 2 hours a day while I work, and this is going to allow for me to make more money. Oh, cool. Perfect, right? This is how a lot of broke barbers think. The problem with that is you're allocating your time, you're directly correlating your income to your time. But what you're not realizing is that your time is a limited asset. You can only use so much of your time before it starts to affect other areas of your life and even your business, right? But most barbers, they're going to add more daily slots. And this might not be bad for the first time, right? First couple weeks, first couple months, you might be like, okay, this is nice. I'm making more money. I'm still booked up. Cool. Next, barbers are going to say, oh man, I still have more people that want to get an appointment with me. I'm going to cut down haircutting time. Boom. So for the next couple months, they'll start speeding up their fade process. Their work quality might go down a little bit, but they probably haven't noticed a significant drop in clients. So they're like, oh, this is good. This is okay. They're still rocking with it. I'm still doing good, right? Boom. They're still booked up after cutting the hair time down, and then they're like, man, you know what? I'm just gonna add another work day. I'm gonna add another work day on top of this, right? So what we've already seen, they added more slots, they cut down the haircut time, and they add another work day. These are 3 things that they did in order to try and use time as their leverage. But you cannot leverage time. Once your time is gone, that is it, right? This is not how a businessman thinks. I want you guys to realize this. This right here is not how a businessman thinks, because it leaves you in a bad loop, right? It leaves you in a loop where you are not successful. You do not end up winning. You add more slots, you cut down haircutting time, you add another workday, you get booked out again. Then you come across this decision. Do I start thinking like a businessman? No? Okay. Again, I'm going to add more daily slots, I'm going to cut down haircutting time, and I'm going to add another workday. How many times can we really do this, repeat the same process before we start to finally get burnt out? This is what this leads to. This constant cycle of adding more daily slots, cutting more, adding another workday, getting booked out leads to burnout. And the reason why broke barbers lead to burnout is because everything that they do is attached to fear, right? The reason they don't raise their prices, the reason they don't hop on social media, the reason why they're so scared to raise their prices is because they are fearful. They are fearful of losing what they've built up, not realizing that if they stay in this exact position, they will never level up ever again, right? There's only so much time that you can allocate to cutting hair. You can only get so fast. You can only add so many daily slots. You can only add so much days in a week, right? Before it starts affecting your life, before it starts affecting your body, before it starts affecting your mind to the point where you hate barbering. And this is what I like to call burnout, right? You want to avoid this at all costs, right? The only way that you avoid burnout is by actually enjoying what you do, right? All of you guys watching this, all of you know that you probably have a passion for barbering. You're probably in these beginner stages over here, and you don't want this, right? You think you love barbering, you're so cool with it, you probably plan on doing it for a little while. If you're anything like me, I didn't plan on barbering for a long time. I told myself I want to retire by the time I'm 23. I'm 22 years old now, and I am retired, bro. So if that's the route that you want to go down, you cannot take this route right here, right? You should not take this route. If you take this route, you're going to be stuck in this game for years and years and years, making the same amount of money, living the same life every single day is going to feel the exact same, and it's going to be literally depressing. You can choose whether you do that for the next 15 to 20 years like the rest of the OGs at your barbershop, or you can start to think like a businessman. What does a businessman do, right? Let's say this person, they spent all their time cutting hair, getting good, and then they get booked out. And then they say, you know what? I'm going to start thinking like a businessman. Okay, what am I going to do? All right, I'm charging $35. I'm going to go up to $50 a haircut. Yes, $50 a haircut. You're going to make that $15 price raise. But then what, Brando? What do I do after that? Because I'm going to lose so much clientele. That's exactly what we want, right? We want to attract higher paying clientele. Because this is a service-based business, the last thing that you want to do is allocate everything with time. If you can only make more money by adding more time, you will lose. Again, your time has a limit before it starts affecting every other aspect of your life and your body and your mind, okay? So we're going to raise our prices by $15, and we're going to lose all these cheap clients that don't truly value our work, and we're going to keep the people that really do value us at that higher level, okay? After that, we're going to create content that attracts higher paying clients. Creating content is what's going to get you booked up again. If you don't have a way to bring in new clients, your business is going to fail. And this doesn't matter what level you're at. Always create content, because the content is what keeps you booked up at every single price point. If there are no new clients coming in and every now and then there are clients going out, then you will start to realize that you do not have the same type of clientele that you did when you first did your price raise. This is another mistake that a lot of barbers make. They raise their prices, but they don't find a way to create clientele from their social medias, from their content. They continue just depending on walk-ins, referrals, and word of mouth. And if you guys know anything, as your price goes up, typically that the word of mouth, the referrals goes down, because not as many people are susceptible to want to pay that higher ticket price. So it's our job to go on social media and create content. That way the people who are willing are able to find us. This is how we attract clientele instead of chasing clientele, which is what this barber right here does. He's constantly chasing clients instead of attracting clients like this guy is. Right? Now that we create content, we're attracting higher paying clients. We got a bunch of clients from at that $45 price point. Guess what we do again once we are booked up? Once we get overbooked, we're going to loop back around and we're going to, again, raise prices by $15. So instead of $50, we're going to go up to $65. This process right here is what got me to $150 a haircut. This exact process right here is what will make you successful. But it only happens if you start thinking like a businessman. This is what the purpose of this video is. We don't want to think like the broke barber that wants to be like everyone else, that's trying to be accepted and validated by other barbers. We don't want to be the barber that's trying to allocate his time to making more money. We need to leverage money because money is infinite. There is an infinite amount of money out there. So if we could leverage money instead of time, we'll be able to double, triple, quadruple our income simply off of following this strategy, right? So if we do this enough times, you can get up to $100 in any city. One of the things that broke barbers always say is, oh, bro, nobody charges that in my city. That's bullshit, bro. There are $100 clients anywhere you go. If there aren't a lot of barbers and there's a lot of cheap barbers, chances are there aren't a lot of good barbers, meaning there are clients out there that are willing to pay for a good barber because there is none around. If you're in a major city, chances are there is a lot more money in that city, right? If you are in a neighborhood that's poor and you cut in a poor barbershop, it's okay because there are people that are willing to drive an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours for a haircut. I've had plenty of people drive over 3-4 hours just to get a haircut by me because they told me there is no one in my city that I trust to cut my hair. How do we build that trust to make people drive an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours away? We create content that attracts that higher paying clients. By us building that trust, they're able to look at our content and say, you know what? If I've seen this guy give so many haircuts with the same problem that I have, that I trust him that he could fix my haircut, and I'm willing to drive 2, 3, 4 hours for a guaranteed haircut that I want. That's the type of clientele that you're going to be attracting. And guess what? When you go up on your prices, these are the people that are going to stick with you because they're not just your average Joe. They actually come to you because you solve their problem. I've seen this happen time and time again, right? This person ends up, depending on how many times they go through this cycle right here, they could end up making 10 to 12K max cutting hair, right? This is as far as they will get before they start to feel their life deteriorating to a point where it's not even enjoyable anymore. Okay? You will make 12K max depending on how many times you do this. If you do this 3-4 times, you will probably get to 12K, but you will hate your life and you will start to feel burnt out and you will not enjoy barbering the way that you used to. But if you go this route, you could literally, in the same amount of time that this person gets to 12K, you will literally be at 20K plus a month, right? This is so much more scalable compared to this. The goal with this mindset right here is we need to constantly be raising our ceiling. As soon as we are getting close to it, we need to say, okay, I'm outgrowing this. Let me level up a little bit more. Okay, boom, let me catch up. Boom, I'm outgrowing this. Let me level up again. We need to constantly be having a higher ceiling, putting more pressure on ourselves, having more responsibility because responsibility brings freedom, right? If you are able to make $15,000, $20,000 only having to work 4-5 days a week instead of being this guy that's working 9 to 9, 6-7 days a week, got you, 6 or 7 days a week, this guy is always going to lose, right? Not just financially, but in the aspect of life. His gym routine, his gym life is going to be terrible. His diet is probably going to be terrible. We don't want this life. We want to be the guy that's making the 15, 20K effortlessly. 2 to 3 days off, able to spend time with his family, able to start leveraging things on the side. This is what I call success. So you get to decide wherever you are on your journey right now, you have to start making changes. Am I thinking like a businessman, or am I following this sad rat race, hamster wheel, whatever you want to call it, that's going to lead me to being burnt out? I promise you, burnout is a real thing. avoid it by feeling like you are getting paid every dollar that you deserve at every point in your career, right? Obviously, while attracting the clientele that's willing to pay that, that way you don't just feel like you're barely cutting hair, barely making money, and that your business is like very unstable, right? This is for those of you that are doing it by yourself. You're trying to build up this brand that you've gotten. If you don't start with this, there is no brand. If you don't start with this, there is no brand. Nobody is going to listen to a barber that's charging $35. You have no value. You have no leverage in the market, right? People start listening to you once you're at like $80, $100 a haircut. So if your goal is to build a brand, you have to do this. You have to use barbering to leverage you have to use barbering to leverage your value. Okay? Then that's going to allow for you to make whatever decisions. It's going to open up a lot of avenues, a lot of doorways for people to actually reach out to you and for you to be beneficial to anybody. Nobody's going to listen to a $35 barber. Okay? Boom. So, again, if you want to go through this by yourself, cool. If you want direct guidance when it comes to this exact blueprint, I have a community where I teach barbers how to do this on the regular. I've helped dozens of barbers be able to scale up their business, be free, and make more money than they've ever had in their life. All right? If you're interested in that, hit me up on Instagram. I'll see what I can do for you. If I can help you out, I'll help you out. If I can't help you out, I'll point you in the best direction. All right? God bless you guys. I'll see you on the next one.